Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? Sometimes it can feel like you are walking through thick mud with every single step being a struggle. The weight of the world settles right on your shoulders. It can be a job loss, it can be a personal heartbreak, or it can be just a feeling that you are not where you are supposed to be. This heaviness can cloud your vision, you know? It makes it hard to see any light at all. You start to believe that this is just how life is. You think that struggle is your forever story. But I am here to tell you, that is not the truth. Your story is still being written, and you, my friend, are holding the pen. I want to share a story about a woman I know named Maria. She is a real person, just like you and me. Maria's world felt like it was crumbling all around her. She had lost her job, a position she had held for over 15 years. The company she poured her heart into had downsized. Suddenly, she was adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The bills were piling up on her kitchen counter, each one a stark white reminder of her situation. Her confidence, once so bright and strong, had faded to a whisper. She spent her days wondering where she went wrong, replaying every decision in her mind without finding any peace. Maria would wake up each morning with a sense of dread in the pit of her stomach. The future looked like a long, dark tunnel with no end in sight. She felt invisible and stuck. Friends would call, but she often let the phone ring, not having the energy to explain her situation over and over again. She felt a deep sense of shame, as if her job loss was a direct reflection of her worth as a person. The negative thoughts swirled in her mind like a storm. I'm not good enough. I'll never find another job. I've failed my family. These thoughts became her reality, trapping her in a cycle of despair and inaction. This is a place many of us have been. It is that valley moment where you can't see the top of the mountain. You forget that the sun is still shining, even when you are surrounded by shadows. Maria believed her best days were behind her. She looked in the mirror and saw a failure, not the strong, capable woman she truly was. Her energy was so low that even the smallest tasks, like checking her emails for job alerts, felt like climbing a mountain. She was trapped not just by her circumstances, but by the story she was telling herself about them. This is where the real work begins, not on the outside, but on the inside. One quiet afternoon, while flipping through channels on her television, Maria stumbled upon a show. It was a program about the power of the mind. A guest on the show was speaking about positive thinking. He wasn't talking about ignoring problems or pretending that everything was perfect. Instead, he spoke about shifting your focus. He explained that what you give your energy to is what grows. If you constantly focus on the negative, you will see more negativity. But if you begin to look for the good, even in small ways, you will start to see more good appear. This idea was like a single ray of sunlight breaking through her cloudy thoughts. It was a simple concept, but for Maria, it was a revelation. She had been so focused on what was wrong, that she hadn't left any room for what could be right. The speaker suggested a very small first step: gratitude. He challenged viewers to find just one thing each day to be thankful for. Just one thing. It sounded almost too simple to work. Could thinking about one good thing really change her mountain of problems? Doubt crept in, but a tiny spark of hope had been lit within her heart. She decided, with nothing left to lose, that she would try this small experiment. What harm could it do? That very evening before going to bed, Maria thought about her day. It was hard at first. Her mind immediately went to the rejection emails and the looming bills. But she pushed those thoughts aside, determined to follow the advice. She remembered the warm sun on her face when she stepped outside to get the mail. It was a small moment, but it was real. She whispered it to herself. I am grateful for the feeling of the sun today. It felt a little strange, but it also felt like a tiny shift inside her. A small weight had been lifted, ever so slightly, from her weary shoulders. She had found one good thing. This tiny act became her new nightly ritual. Some days it was easy. She would be grateful for a supportive phone call from her sister. She would be grateful for the delicious taste of her morning coffee. Other days, it was much harder. She would struggle to find anything positive. On those days, she would be grateful for the simple fact that she had a bed to sleep in. She was grateful for the air in her lungs. These were not big, life-altering things, but they were true. This daily practice was like exercising a muscle she didn't know she had, the muscle of perspective. After a few weeks of her gratitude practice, Maria noticed a subtle change. The feeling of dread in the morning was a little less intense. She started to see that her life wasn't entirely bad, it just had a very big, difficult part right now. This small shift gave her the courage to try another technique she had learned about: positive affirmations. These were simple, positive statements she would say to herself. At first she felt silly standing in front of the mirror and saying, "I am capable and strong." The negative voice in her head would scream back, "No, you're not! You lost your job!" It was a battle in her own mind. But Maria persisted. She knew that changing a lifetime of negative self-talk wouldn't happen overnight. She made a choice every single morning. She would look herself in the eye and repeat her affirmations. "I am open to new opportunities. I have valuable skills to offer. Something good is coming my way." She wrote them on sticky notes and put them on her bathroom mirror, her refrigerator, and her computer screen. They became constant, gentle reminders. They were like little whispers of encouragement that helped to quiet the louder voice of doubt that had been running her life for so long. This new mindset started to change her actions. Instead of just scrolling endlessly through job websites feeling hopeless, she began to approach her search with a different energy. She updated her resume, not as a chore, but as a way to showcase her amazing skills and experiences. She started thinking about what she really wanted to do next, not just what she thought she had to do. The positive affirmations made her feel more confident. She began to see herself not as someone who had been discarded, but as someone who was now free to find a better, more fulfilling path forward. Her energy began to shift, and people noticed. When she reached out to old colleagues, her conversations were no longer filled with desperation. Instead, she spoke with hope and purpose about what she was looking for. She wasn't just asking for a job, she was networking and exploring possibilities. She started taking online courses to learn new skills, seeing it as an investment in her future self. Each small, positive action built upon the last, creating a powerful momentum. She was no longer waiting for a solution to appear, she was actively and hopefully creating her own. The change didn't happen in a single day, but slowly and surely, Maria's world began to transform. Her newfound positive energy was magnetic. During a networking coffee meeting, a former colleague was so impressed with her proactive attitude and new skills that he recommended her for a position at his company. It was a role that was even better than her last one. It was more creative and offered more opportunities for growth. She went into the interview not with fear, but with a quiet confidence. She knew her worth, and she was able to communicate it clearly. She got the job. Today, Maria is thriving. It's not just about the new job. Her entire outlook on life has changed. She learned that the greatest obstacle she faced was never the job loss itself. It was her own negative mindset. By choosing to focus on gratitude and possibility, she had opened the door for good things to enter her life. She still faces challenges, as we all do. Life will always have its ups and downs, but now she faces them with a sense of resilience and hope. She knows that she has the power within her to overcome any obstacle that comes her way. The powerful lesson in Maria's story is this: your thoughts create your reality. Believing that good things are possible is the first step to making them happen. When you fill your mind with positivity, you start to see solutions where you once only saw problems. You attract opportunities where you once only saw dead ends. Your spirit becomes lighter, and you find joy in the journey, not just in the destination. This is not magic. This is the profound power of the human mind. You have this power within you right now. You just have to decide to use it. So I ask you today, what story are you telling yourself? Is it a story of lack and limitation, or is it a story of possibility and abundance? I encourage you to try it for yourself. Start small, just like Maria did. Find one thing to be grateful for today. Say one kind thing to yourself. Take one small step in the direction of your dreams. Choose to believe in your own potential. Choose to live in the light, because the most wonderful truth of all is that the life you want is waiting for you to believe it is possible.